Okay, so again, I'm not sure exactly what.
Can you guys all see Satyam's screen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
embedding the rest of people. Okay, so essentially this is how the class works. So this is the main class, and then
This is the main method.
this is the main method, and then this is the class. So whatever I put inside this public static void main will run. So like right now, if you see this, it will run hello world. If I do this. And then if it runs the code, it's going to say hello world. You guys can see here. So yeah, whatever you put inside here. So if I put like stars, like the activity we're going to do is just run this. It'll do the same thing.
Yeah, so if you guys can see, this is the syntax. Does everyone know what the word syntax means?
Yes. Think so.
Does anybody not know what the word syntax means? Okay, we're gonna go over it anyway. So syntax is basically the how you're supposed to write the code that you put into the IDE. So this public static void main string args, that's part of the syntax. So when you want to create your main method, you have to write out these words. So that's called syntax. But when you want to print something, this system.out.println, that's also syntax, because that's the wording that you use for Java so that it knows to print star. Does everyone get that?
So now, like we were talking about the activity, should I share the slides or or?
It's okay. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to print a star without writing system.out.println in the main method. Does anybody have any ideas on how we can do that?
I think we could create another method like with a different name that's not the main method, and then we could put system.out.println in that method and then call that method in this call that method in this method.
Yes. Does everybody understood what Ritvik was saying? If you don't, that's totally fine. If you don't get it, just unmute yourself and we can explain it.
So essentially what Ritvik told us is that what we can do is if we write a method like public void, and then if we write a method like print, right? So
it doesn't need to be indented, or can it not be?
Java doesn't really care too much about indents. That's more about in Python. Java cares more about these brackets because the brackets show where it starts and ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this method, we created this method that it's called print, right? And you see the two parentheses after the word print. Does everyone see them?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what that is that's called a parameter. So in those brackets, what you do is you put any parameter that the function is going to need to run. So in this case, all we're doing is printing something inside. So for the function to run, it doesn't need any external value. So inside, in the print method, can you? Yeah.
So what would we put here? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, does anyone remember the syntax to print something?
System.out.println and then the brackets and then quotation marks for string and then
yeah, so I don't think we went over this with everybody. So this is a syntax you use when you're just printing something into the console. So system.out.println, and then you put brackets, parentheses, and then you put quotation marks. So whatever you put inside this quotation marks doesn't matter. So I could put hi or hello. I could put anything I want inside of this, and it won't matter to Java. What matters to Java is everything around this. So system, the out, println, and then it needs parentheses, and then it needs 2 quotation marks.
Yeah, so also this print ln, this ln right here does have its own meaning. What it means is that once it's done printing this star, it's going to automatically go to the next line. So, can you click enter? Yeah, so right there, can you print hello?
And the next line, or?
Yeah.
Wait, so so if you remove the ln, then it will just not skip.
Yeah. So we're gonna show you what the difference is. Hello. Also, guys, semicolons are like really important in Java. After every line of code you write, you have to have a semicolon.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important.
Yeah, it's not exactly every line, but like lines that we print the statement, you need it. You don't need it after declaring a method. But and then this right here is where we call it. So I remember Arish was talking about this. So this will only run once we put this inside here. So if we were to comment this out, so remember when you
first we're explaining the value of ln. So let's first do that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. Go.
Yeah. So can you run this program?
Yeah. Static.
Change the name of the method.
I have to change the name. Why?
Because I think
print is already a pre.
Oh, okay.
Just make it.
No, sorry. Oh, public void
static.
Okay, maybe Arish, you can run it on yours.
Okay, sure. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna save this as, so the name of my class right here, can everyone see? First class.
Yeah,
so that's what you have to save your program name as. Otherwise it won't work.
Wait, okay. I think you saved it as capital F capital C instead of low.
Yeah, when you save it, you have to make it capitalized. But this, when you don't capitalize the first part, it's called camel case. In Java, we often write using camel case. We wouldn't ever write like that. That's just like, we don't do that. You would lowercase the first one and then uppercase. That's called camel case. And we use that a lot in Java. So here, this is the class, right? And inside here, inside my main method, I'm gonna run the star method. Okay, so we have to create the star method. So okay, what would I put here if I wanted to print a star on each line? If I wanted 2 lines each with 1 star.
System dot. Wait, isn't the S capitalized?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys to make sure you knew it, but yeah. System
dot print ln and then a star in quotation marks and then that again on the next line.
Is there any way to write the system.out.println and then make that into a variable, then call that variable twice?
No.
Wait, couldn't we just call the star function twice instead of writing print twice?
You could, but like either way, it would be the same thing. So what this is, I'm not gonna run the program, but this is what it would do. This would print, if you were to run this program, it would print like this. Does everyone get why?
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to remove this line, can someone tell me what I would get when I printed it out?
An error?
Nothing.
So we have nothing, an error. Any other guesses? Okay, so it actually wouldn't call an error. It wouldn't result in an error, but it would just print nothing. So for the person that said nothing, can you tell me why it wouldn't be an error?
Because you didn't write anything wrong in the syntax.
Yes.
You just like didn't call anything, so it doesn't think that you did anything wrong. You just didn't like logically do it correct, or like I don't know, like
yeah.
actually do it correct.
So now if I got rid of this, let's say I got rid of the ln, what do you think would happen when I printed it?
It would print star and then star, like in the same line.
Okay. For the other questions, just to make sure everyone understands it, let's try to let everybody answer. But yeah, you would get star and star.
Okay, so let's move on to the next activity we had planned. Can I share my screen? Or Rishi, can I share my screen? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe something happened to Rishi's mic or something. Okay, I'm just gonna share my screen and move on to the activity next that we have planned. So yeah, so basically our next activity here. So what we had planned is we want you guys to print. Here, I'll show you guys here. Okay, that didn't work. I should show you guys on the slides. We want you guys to be able to print this. So it says print a box using the print function that looks like this. So this is the function. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever it says over here, just we want to print this. It's like a plus dash 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 plus, and then these two brackets. What is this? I'm not sure what's happening, but yeah. Okay, so we want to print this. So I'll ask you guys what I should print, and then you guys can then print it.
Wait, what is that? Like, see the straight things on the side? What are those like called on the keyboard? Like,
oh, it's shift and then backslash.
It's right above enter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right above the enter button.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. It's under the backspace or delete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we try doing this ourselves?
Yeah, definitely you should do all of this yourself. I'm just also following along with people who might not be able to do it right now. So
wait,
yeah.
Would we do it in a different? We would do it in a different method, right?
Yeah, sure. We can do it in a different method. So let's make a new one. So public. So these are also keywords. So public static void. And then. Oh, what I can say? Just star. I'll just make this one star.
Wait, what's a string args?
It's just part of the syntax for the main method. So you just have to like memorize this public static void main string args.
But okay.
In the other methods, you have public static void, right? So we can go over what those mean. So remember we talked about importing classes? Right, at that point you get access to the methods inside. That's because of this word public. If it said private here instead, then if you were to import it, you wouldn't get access to the method print star.
So yeah, exactly what Rishi said. So we also can do the same thing with like variables sometimes. So and objects, we can make them public or private. And the reason you might want to make it public versus private is that a public function sometimes like if you're working with another person on a project, right? So sometimes if you both want to share it and not have any confusion, then you might want to do public. But let's say you want to both create the same object, but you want to have different attributes in it. So to make sure the code doesn't conflict, you might want to put private in your classes, right? So yeah.
Also, what this word static means is that you're not returning anything. So what that means is when you print something, you are printing a value, but there's this other function that we're going to go over later. It's called return, when you have like variable values and when you change the variable value and you want to return the new value. At that point, you wouldn't put the word static because static is only used when you're not returning something. So the print function is kind of special because even though it does give you a value, which is whatever you type in the quotation marks, you don't have to use, you can still use static. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So yeah, you guys can tell me. So I'm gonna ask a person. Ashni, can you tell me how I would print that first part of the here? You know, let me just share my desktop. Okay. So yeah, Ashni, can you tell me what would be my first line for this desktop? To write this segment. Hello? Ashni, are you there?
Well, hello, Ashni. Ashni, you're muted, maybe.
Okay. Maybe she's having some issues. What about Charvi? Are you... Charvi, can you tell me what would be the first line to print if I wanted to make this kind of box shape? What would I print for this line and over here?
Also, guys, I want you guys to think about the most effective and efficient way to print something in Java. So you don't want to rewrite things multiple times. Think about how you can call methods for this activity.
Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charvi, are you there? And Ashni?
Yeah, I was muted.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. So remember the box that we wanted to create with like plus, dash, 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 plus. And so how would we write the code for this if we didn't want to have to rewrite what Satyam has highlighted more than once?
I would make a method called box top, and then I would make that plus dash 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 and plus, and then I would call that method again when I wanted to make the box, the bottom part of the box.
Wait, couldn't you create like a box function and then call box top and box bottom in like the order in that function so you have like a one line in your main?
So you could do that, but it doesn't make it more efficient, right? You're still writing the same amount of lines of code. You're just doing it outside of the main method.
Yeah, so there's no point really creating another function where you call another function in if we can all just call it into the main. But it makes sense if you want to be a little bit more organized. Like if you want to create a large program, that I guess you could do that. But if you had to do that anyways, I would just write the system .println inside the box function.
Yeah, it's not really efficient to write another function and then call that new function because it's just more.
So Charvi, what should I write here? I created the function box top now.
I'm not sure.
So remember, we want to make, we want to create this, right? We want to print this out. So this is plus dash 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 plus. So what did I put here?
Inside the box top function.
If I want to like print it to the console, like the same thing, kind of what we did here.
I think you said it earlier, Charvi. You're muted.
Maybe Dia, do you want to help her out? Do you have an idea of how we could do this?
Not really. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm not really sure about it, so.
Wait, that's okay. So remember, we want to print a box that looks like this. So and like what Charvi said, she said a good point that we want to first let's print the first line, right? This box top.
Yeah.
So if we want to print the box top, that's plus dash 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 plus, right? That's what we want in that first line. So if I wanted to print that, like over here, what we did was we wrote this method and we printed this star. So if I wanted to do the same thing over here and I wanted to print this, what would I write?
So let's think about the syntax. It's written right above. So how would we do that if we wanted to print plus dash dash plus instead of hello? Do you want to try? Vidushi, do you want to try?
Sure. System.out.println, and in parentheses, inside the parentheses, quotation marks, inside the quotation marks, plus dash 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 plus.
Yeah, good job.
Good job. So yeah, that's exactly, yeah. So remember guys, she did exactly what we were gonna do. So we wanna print this plus and dash. So this is the syntax we use, system.out.println, and then we have these parentheses, these quotes, and then remember, whatever you put inside here, Java doesn't really care about, right? It just spits it back out into the compiler, okay? Now let's say I create a new one. So let's say now I want to create a new method for these sides. Well, can somebody, what about Ritvik Prasad? Can you tell me, sorry, there's two Ritvik, that's why I said your phone name. But yeah, can you tell me how could I create a new method to print this second line?
Public static void, and then
you can name it anything you want.
Like
box.
we can name it like box side.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then how about Satvik? Can you tell me what I would print so I could get this second line?
I'm not sure.
So think about what we did up here, right? With the box top, we had the same thing. Yeah. So we wanted to print this line out. So we wrote this syntax and then we wrote this out. So if I wanted to print this second line out, what would I write instead?
So you system dot out dot print ln and then in parentheses double quotation and then pipe space.
Yeah, I'd give it the same number of spaces and then pipe. Okay. I think that might be one too many. I'm not sure.
Wait, Satyam, can you delete the print star function?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay, so now that we created this function and this function, so as you can see, wait, Satyam, you go back to the slides. So we use each of these twice, right? First we print box top, then we print box side, then we print box side, and then we print box top again. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now if we go back to IntelliJ, we already have the functions written to print this plus dash 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 plus and this side space 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 side. So if we want to print the box, can someone tell me in which order we would have to call these functions?
I haven't called on Arish yet, so can Arish tell me how would you write this?
We would have to call it in order of the line, like how it appeared. So we would first have to call box top.
Okay.
And then we will have to call a box side the number of times the box side pipe appears.
Okay, so like this.
Twice. Oh, you forgot the parentheses in the second one.
All right, good. Yeah, I was making sure. And if you guys are wondering, like this is something that IntelliJ allows us to do. So if I write, like I am already writing box, so it shows me the two options already, right? So I just go down select and I press tab and it fills it in. So that's like the benefit of having IDEs and then box.
And then we would print box top to finish it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job. So can somebody tell me why we did it this way, where we created an external method to print plus dash 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 plus and pipe space 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 pipe, How about Dia? Dia, do you know why we had to create an external method rather than just printing it all in the main method?
Dia, yeah, I think you're muted. Yeah.
Okay. So like it wouldn't like you wouldn't have to write it twice.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
So in Java, we always want to try to write everything the most efficient way. So if you can create a method so that you don't have to rewrite the whole thing, then you should always do that. But don't create methods unnecessarily either.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we can move on now.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. So it's already 3:02, and yeah, you guys can see it printed in. So it's already 3:02, and that's pretty much what we had for today. So let's move on to the homework. Arishi can talk about that.
Yeah, so over here, you guys can see this lantern. Basically, it's just made using stars. The number of stars here aren't accurate. You can print it with however many stars you want, but you should get this kind of lantern shape. It looks kind of like a hexagon. So for your homework, we want all of you guys to print this lantern and then take a screenshot of your work, and you can email it to us and we'll check it.
So
is that good?
Yeah.
What's your email?
Just email it to the Bots and Bytes email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you run the code? I typed whatever you were doing, but I can't find out how to run it.
So I think we're having the same SDK problem. So if this is an issue,
we'll send you guys a link to download BlueJ. I think that'll be easier. But yeah, we're gonna try a different IDE. We'll send you guys an email. Just try to download that, and if it doesn't work and we're all having the same problem next week, then we'll figure out something to do.
Wait, can we just screenshot the code? Can we just screenshot the code?
Oh yeah, for sure. Go ahead. And then I'll send you the videos as well by tonight. So you guys can also look at that.
Yeah, and these, just like how Satyam's page is on right now, it has the result at the bottom and it has the code in the top. Just screenshot just like this and then email it to us.
Yeah, so I'll try sending you guys a way to download the SDK, because the reason I would prefer, the SDK because the reason I prefer using IntelliJ is because it's a bit difficult to run inside BlueJ. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's not as visual sometimes. So I'll try finding a way you guys can download the SDK. But otherwise, we'll just send you an email to download BlueJ. And if you guys have any recommendations, like from your parents or another IDE, or if you already have one downloaded, feel free to use that. Again, IntelliJ is just any one of those. We just wanted to use it to stay consistent. But yeah, if you guys have another IDE that you already have on your computer, feel free to use that.
I have Sublime Text, and I can run Java on it. I've already done that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's good. You can run Sublime.
Run it through. Yeah, you can run Java from Sublime onto command prompt as well.
Yeah, that's what I do. I run it from Sublime to terminal.
Yeah. That
works. Yeah. So
that's just screenshot the terminal with.
If you have Atom, that works as well. Go ahead, you can use that.
Do you guys, for those of you using Atom or Sublime, as long as you know how to run it through the terminal, then that's fine. Just screenshot a picture of the terminal with the code.
Yeah, for me, it's a bit easier. I can just press enter here. I just click run, which might be a bit easier, maybe not. So yeah, that's the only reason I prefer using IntelliJ.
Yeah, IntelliJ is definitely a better software to use, but if you don't have it, if it's not working for you, then there's other options as well.
So yeah, I'll send you guys a link for the SDK, and then also another IDE.
Yeah, we'll also send out the slides that we use for today's class so you can review them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for coming to our first class.
Yeah, do you guys have any other questions? No. So okay, that's great. We'll see you guys. I hope we see you guys next time. And yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Bye.
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 Bye. Yeah. Email us if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, feel free to email us.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for the class. It was fun.
Thank
Glad
you.
you liked it.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Hey, Rohit.
Hi, Rohit. Was Rohit
So
just
the entire
watching?
class trying to.
What? You're muted.
But the entire class trying to copy what you guys are doing, it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
The system stuff, it just kept on coming up as red, and then I copied on everything you said, and then I don't know,
It's
it just
coming out
doesn't
as
work.
red?
Yeah, I can.
Also, Satyam, I was in the middle of like doing it, and then you were like, "Okay, let's move on," and all the kids were just like,
For what?
When I was sharing my screen on Sublime, and I was showing them like.
Because I wanted them to see it on IntelliJ in case they use that.
Yeah.
So like
I guess.
they can stay consistent.
Yeah.
They're not confused about using different IDs. Oh yeah, no, Rohit, you were asking me questions, and I didn't respond to you because I was talking. Do you have any other question right now?
No, not really. I
Okay.
was just kind of confused.
Okay.
Is Rohit taking the class also?
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Oh,
Of
cool.
course he can. What do you mean?
Yeah, he can. Of course.
I'll try and figure it out by myself.
Okay.
Wait,
Wait,
like,
you have a question then? Then tell me what the question
I think
is.
we need a better
dude, it's so hard to explain though, cause like I tried doing exactly what you did. I like wrote out everything and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And then like it kept on offering me to like download these GDKs or whatever. So
It's
then I just
offering you to do it?
Yeah, some stuff like that. So I've got open JDK 14 1.6 Java version 14.1.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just do that.
I don't know what these mean.
It's just something that gives you all the stuff you need to run the code.
I know, but it still didn't do anything. I clicked next and it says create project from template command line.
Yeah,
app.
so do that.
I did, and then wait, but then I named it
Start,
whatever.
Okay.
Share your screen.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me. Right.
Okay.
So I did. Oh no! Shoot.
So then, weren't the classes supposed to be 1.5 hours?
We told them 2 to 3.
Okay, I don't know why, but it's right now like.
Look, buddy, I don't know about you, but it's working.
Wait. No, this is a scam. It didn't work before. Wait, what is this? Wait, this is literally it. Like,
Look,
I don't know
buddy.
why this thing is red. Wait, why is this red though?
It's fine. I think it's fine.
Bro, what do you mean it's fine?
Just press. Put a semicolon. Okay, now put something in there and run it.
How do I run it?
Oh, there's a thing that says on the top, run. There's like a hammer, and then
click the hammer, and then the play button.
Buddy, I don't know what's supposed to happen.
What is this package?
Did you put anything inside of it? You didn't put anything inside of it.
That's not gonna change it.
Why would it not?
Oh, that's true. Compile it.
I've got another class to go to, so
right.
I'll try and figure this
out. It worked.
Where? Okay.
Look.
It's right there.
I'm sorry. This was not clear enough for me. You guys are going way too fast, so I'm gonna try and figure this out.
I was confused too. I never knew we jumped into classes on the first day.
I didn't know that either.
What?
I have to go. I've got another class now.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Oh God.